Let's talk about what all this is going to do to the housing sector. I'm joined now by Denita Wawn from the Master Builders Association. Good to talk to you, Denita. Tell us about the impact in the housing sector. We know that house prices have come off right around the country, maybe not as dramatically as some people feared as yet, but is it going to cost jobs in the construction sector, and is there any sign of that yet?
Unfortunately, it's going to start hitting our sector by the end of the year, Chris. We're seeing a lot of activity but no money to be made because we're all under fixed price contracts secured prior to those incredible inflationary figures that we saw. Housing has led the way on inflation with nearly 20% for some building materials. So we're seeing the cost of building a home anywhere between 15 to 25% increase. And yet we're working under fixed price contracts signed well before that. But then, of course, the interest rates, 10 in a row, mean we're seeing a significant decline in building approvals, but more alarmingly, an even greater decline in sales. Our members who are running display homes are saying they are seeing less than 50% foot traffic from this time last year, and it is dwindling. And so all of our forecasts are showing that we'll have a dramatic downturn in private building activity next year, where at the same time we're talking about the desperate need for housing in this country. So it is quite incredible that the situation that we're now in, it's not good for builders, it's not good for their subcontractors, their employees, and it's not good for Australians needing a home.
Yeah, it's going to be a real worry, right? Because you're going from boom to bust. You know, buildings and renovations, tradies could name their price basically during the pandemic because a lot of that work was going on. It's still pretty good at the moment in terms of employment, isn't it? But if what you're saying, if you're heading for a cliff, approvals not going up and a lot of the work not being there, there's going to be suddenly a lot of people without enough work.
That's right, Chris. And of course, there's a lot of building activity, but no money to be made because we're working under fixed price contracts that didn't account for those massive inflationary costs. Builders are feeling the huge pain at the moment, as are their subcontractors and as are their clients, as they try and work through these difficult inflationary times. But equally, we're stuck in between a rock and a hard place where interest rates increases are also seeing a significant decline in sales. So we're really concerned about the industry for calendar year 2024. Our forecasts were raising that to be a potential. It's now coming into fruition from the sales figures to date. That means a loss in jobs, and that's why it's so incredibly important that the government look at putting more money into social housing, as we've argued under Housing Australia, that we fast track the housing accord that the Treasurer implemented in October last year. We were grateful for that, but we now need the states, territories and the federal government, as well as councils, to get their act together and resolve those housing supply barriers that we've had for generations.
Yeah, we'll hear more about that in the budget, I would have thought, in May as well. Thanks for joining us, Denita. I appreciate it. Hard times coming for the construction centre on the back of these interest rate rises.